Welcome to the Astral Express. Honkai Star Rail is the most recent game by HoYoverse. They are most known for making Genshin Impact. Star Rail is a turn-based gacha RPG. And I know what you're thinking. Ew, a gacha game. I don't have enough money for that. I can assure you, Star Rail is surprisingly one of the least predatory gacha games I have seen. For one, this is a single-player game, so the need for having the meta's best character to compete with other people is not present here. There are many ways to get the currency needed to try to pull for a character that you want, especially for new players. Star Rail was officially released earlier this year in April and will soon be released on PS5. I have played Star Rail since launch, probably spent too much money, and I also recently played through the game again without spending any money on that playthrough. And so, the question I will be answering today is it too late to start playing Star Rail? To keep things simple, in Star Rail, you are known as a Trailblazer, and you awaken on a space station with a Stellaron, known as a cancer of all worlds, implanted in you. You quickly meet members of the Astral Express and members of the space station, and you join them in learning more and eliminating the presence of Stellarons. As of right now, there are currently 3 different worlds that you can explore, with plans to add more within major content updates in the future. The story is actually really good. I'll admit, I wasn't paying attention when I first played, only because I wasn't taking the game seriously, but now I really wished I did because it's actually very interesting. The story has times when it gets serious, there are times when the writers literally have fun. I'm pretty sure they added a Rickroll reference somewhere in a side quest, I think. In fact, there are so many real life references, it's really funny when you do notice them, and it doesn't take you away from the experience, since it tend to be like in side quests or just like one of the options from like the serious responses that you're able to do. The world building, the overall story, and the interactions between all the characters are really cool and interesting. And for being technical, Star Rail is supposedly an alternate universe of a different game called Honkai Third Impact, which I believe is on mobile. It's not needed to know anything from that game, and if you have played Third Impact, I'm pretty sure you'll just see an alternate version of each character that you see, such as Bronya. The characters are one of the main highlights of the game. This is one of the main reasons you keep playing the game, to get that cool looking, strong character. All the characters are brimming with personality and they all have their part in the main quests in some sort of form. There are even companion missions that have a whole questline dedicated to that character. These characters even like text you through phone as well, talking about like the most random stuff. The worlds are amazing. There are a total of 3 worlds as of right now, with a 4th one coming out in the next major update, I believe. The amount of detail that they put into these worlds is impressive. There's a lot to explore within each zone, and most of these side quests fully utilize these zones. I mostly play on PC, but I do play it on my phone when I have to go out, which is a rare occurrence for me, and it still looks impressive. The battle animations are really bright, colorful. I don't think anyone will be disappointed in how the game presents itself. The cutscenes are really well made, and it gets even better with each update. Going from seeing the Astral Express people run around in the space station in the beginning of the game, to an epic boss fight in the most recent update is amazing. It's almost like I'm watching another episode of Demon Slayer with how well certain aspects of the fight animated. On a side note, don't get me started on Demon Slayer's story though. I'll be here all day of how terrible it is. The music is also really good. The main menu theme is really relaxing. The battle music are decent and give it like a sense of urgency. The boss battle music, especially in the second world, is probably the best. The way the music adds onto itself through the boss phases makes the conclusion so satisfying and exciting. The combat was one of the main reasons why I tried this game out in the first place, and is the reason why I'm still playing it. Yes, it's a turn-based game. I remember reading an article or something several months ago called "Is Turn-Based Games Dying?" And the more I thought about it, the more I was worried that it might be. Turn-based games are just slowly getting less appealing to more and more people, mostly due to either how boring it is or how complicated it is. But after playing Star Rail, I was actually glad that there was something new that helps elevate the genre, even if it's through a gacha game. There are many types of turn-based, but I think this is somewhat more related to Persona 5's turn-based. You have a set of 4 characters taking turns, either using a basic attack or a skill attack. Your team shares a pool of skill points that can be increased by using basic attacks, and can be decreased by using a skill attack. You must have an available skill point to use a skill attack, obviously. and each character also has an ultimate move that can be used whenever, even if it's not their turn. Each enemy will have a set of weaknesses above their head. This is where like the Persona 5 like combat comes in, and they will also have a shield, for the lack of a better term, that only decreases when you match the weakness. And when that shield goes zero, you will cause like a break effect, which disrupts whatever multi-turn move that they're doing, and will cause a break effect, which varies depending on which element you broke their shield with. So if you broke them with ice, they'll be frozen for a turn, or if you broke them with fire or physical, they'll have a damage over time on them, and they'll just start taking damage every turn. And that's pretty much it. It's simple, but it's very interesting in the different compositions they can create. You can make a fairly balanced team or a hyper-focused attacking team. The more characters you get, the more possibilities and strategies you can create. And getting characters is an easy task. After playing for 1 hour, when I made a new account, I got 6 characters in total without spending a single penny. And there were still tons of ways for me to get Stellar Jades to roll to get more people. The endgame. Going through the main story is fairly easy as long as you hit the level requirements and hit the right weaknesses, which is definitely doable as a free-to-play player. Once you get caught up to the main story, as you wait for the next update, you'll be increasing your Trailblazer level, so you can increase your character's levels and power even further. Once you hit a certain threshold of a Trailblazer level, the overall difficulty everywhere will increase. It does sound like it sucks, but I do enjoy, as it's not fun seeing everything die instantly to a basic attack. And this is more for hardcore RPG gamers, as you tend to have to specialize, min-max, optimize your characters, so you can get through these hard activities. These challenges are fun to really test your skills and how to approach certain battles. Unfortunately, once you get to this like endgame type activities, the need for 5-star characters is kind of needed. Thus, you may have to spend money, which isn't a bad thing in my opinion. But you can still technically do these endgame activities as a free-to-play player. It'll just be very hard. But if you're not into like this type of endgame activities and just want to experience the story, then this shouldn't really be an issue for you. There's even frequent events that will be free for anyone to participate. As long as you are far enough into the main story to have access to the particular event, there are even certain events that happened in the past but is available for anyone that just started playing, so there's no need to feel left out for just starting today. These events are also good sources of Stellar Jades, so you can get Dan Heng, Imbibitor Lune, or Fushan that's coming out in a week or two. Going back to the question, is it too late to start playing Star Rail? It definitely isn't too late. However, has put many features in place to make it a very friendly experience for anyone who wants to try out Star Rail. And since it's a single player game, there's no need to make sure that you have the best character in the meta to be enjoyable. The base characters are still good for endgame as well. Yes, I'm still using March 7th if the opportunity presents itself. Star Rail is not as predatory as other gacha games, mostly from the fact that there are tons of sources to get the currency that you need to try to roll the character you want. Any character that you get, even if it's not a 5-star, that you're desperately trying to get, are brimming with personality and has a spot in combat in certain compositions. Star Rail is just a fun game. The story can be serious if you choose the serious responses, or funny if you like to be a troll to the characters around you. And it just looks amazing that you don't often see in non-pixel turn-based RPGs. If you enjoy turn-based games or games with great and lovable characters, Star Rail is something you should try out. You can play this game as you wait for the next Persona game like I am. And don't forget to like the video and subscribe. I plan on doing more of these reviews for any game that I decide to play, and I will be most likely streaming them. See you later.